you down there? Yeah? Nice cup of tea. The bloke that was commenting on my last videos, who was basically a witness, or for them anyway, I've banned him from watching my commenting in my videos because his comments are just so boring. It's like trying to reason with a toddler. There's just no point. So, and you know, when you try and have an adult conversation and a toddler keeps bugging you, and no matter what you say, they won't go away. It's a bit like that. So I've banned him. Sent him to his room. What should I talk about? What should I talk about? Mm-hmm. Well, I've just watched a video of Anthony Morris, a little clip of him talking about how it's going to be great that apostates are going to be gone forever, and it's going to be so great. And anyone who speaks against the organisation is basically an apostate, aren't they? So if you go to a Jehovah's Witness and you tell them about the child abuse cases, how much the organisation has been fined, and that's all fact, that makes you an apostate, and you'll be gone forever. I remember going into Lidl and buying some ale or whatever drink I was getting, and after the meeting, so a few people go to Lidl, wouldn't they? Are you listening, Marie?
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Are you going to comment so people can hear?
I don't know yet. I'm not feeling too good.
Okay. So you'd go and I'd buy a drink in there, and you could see witnesses buying alcohol felt a little bit dodgy, felt a bit guilty about what they were doing. I felt uneasy around other witnesses whilst buying alcohol. And then Anthony Morris gets to go in a liquor store and spend all that money, and I'm sure there's a lot of witnesses who wouldn't be able to afford that much alcohol. I always thought the governing body were humble men, but obviously if he's spending that much on alcohol, he's obviously not humble, is he? He hasn't got a job. He gets an allowance for people who donate.
Although he is a pensioner as well.
Although he's a pensioner, but he's in America. Do they get pensions in America?
I don't know.
Oh, I have no idea.
Even so, shouldn't we all be given to the worldwide work instead of buying booze?
Well, yeah, exactly. When he's making videos about poor little Sophia and Caleb giving their blowing ice cream money or whatever, and there he is buying a trolley full of booze. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Wasn't it him that said, oh, I tell the young brothers at the Bethel not to have too much of a hangover on a Sunday morning? It was in one of the broadcasts, and I remember thinking, why on earth were the Bethel brothers going to have a hangover? Surely they don't go out getting drunk.
Well, they do, don't they?
Get drunk at all, you know. Bethelites, they're meant to be perfect.
Stupid, isn't it? Hypocrites, aren't they? And the fact is that he says in this video that those who are enemies with the organisation are enemies with those that are enemy with God, enemies to them. It's ridiculous. It's like I was watching that what is it, Lloyd Evans? Is that his name?
Yeah.
John Cedar's channel, and he said on there that I forgot what I was going to say now because I'm trying to remember his name. It's taking my mind off what he said. Oh damn! I'd advise people to go watch that anyway on YouTube. John Cedar's channel about that. About Tony and his new nickname. He gets called Tight Pants Tony, Top Shelf Tony, and now Maggot Man. And I'd love someone who plays music or plays in a band, does a proper cover of Elton John's Rocket Man, but go Maggot Man.
You can do that.
I could do it, but I can't sing. Maggot Man.
Or tell them that you'll play the guitar if they'll sing.
I'll play the guitar if they sing it. Yeah, if someone out there is willing to sing Elton John's Rocket Man, but sing Maggot Man instead, maybe add some more lyrics. That'd be quite funny. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? I don't know why that song came to my head when someone said that. He's got a nickname, Maggot Man. That's proper good. What winds me up is that people in the world, people in the truth. Oh man. I know that annoys people when they watch my videos, because if I say that, it all does already. If I say the truth, I know it does my head as well, but forgive me, people.
I think I actually saw today the sister that Chloe was closest to. She saw her as a granny.
Who?
I'm not going to say her
P?
name on here. Yeah.
Where?
And boys.
Yeah, did you see her?
There was somebody sat on a chair in there, like near where the shoes are.
Yeah.
And I sort of briefly looked and I thought, I'm sure that's her, and I just took Chloe down a different aisle because I thought she'll be heartbroken if she sees her, because she misses her like mad.
Yeah, the thing is, if we see someone who's close to our children, or like they saw as like a grandparent sort of figure or whatever, they'll probably try and talk to our kids because they weren't baptised. But there's no way they're going to blank me and talk to our kids.
Yeah, and we don't want that.
I'll tell them straight to F off.
I used to think I'd be really upset if they blanked the kids, because the kids aren't baptised, the kids are innocent. But that was in a way of thinking that I'd left because I couldn't handle it, not because I've actually left because of a serious reason. But then at the same time, I don't want them talking to the children, because I've seen in the XJW community that anyone who is in the truth...
You're speaking up so you can hear it.
Anyone who is in the truth and wants to talk to your children, they just want to convert them. That's all they want. That's all they want to do, full stop, is convert them. Oh no,
Yeah.
not the masks again. Oh.
What are you talking about? I'd love to go around this Halloween and knock on people's door, knock on witnesses' doors, and trying to get them to answer. Like rapidly knock really quickly on a night that's not actually Halloween.
It's the one time of the year that they act like people in the world.
Yeah, but I would love to. I'd love to knock on their doors,
They
or maybe,
ignore the
or maybe
door.
just like go up to their window and then like stand near the door, but they can see me out the window, and then they'll like look outside. Like that.
Yes, dear. You'd kill them all. Our congregation's full of old people.
Yeah, we're a bunch of oldies. They'd all be brown bread after me trick or treating for a night.
I was the
Do 'em in.
youngest. I was the youngest sister in the hall
You were the youngest sister in the hall.
until a family moved in. They didn't last there very long. They moved out. And then they sent in a pioneer couple to help the congregation because it was struggling. And she took my name as the youngest sister.
The annoying thing about that couple that moved in though, the husband was appointed an elder. He was an elder in his congregation. He was appointed an elder in this one. And they caused a lot of problems in the congregation, didn't they?
The family.
The family that moved in.
Mm.
It was a nightmare, really.
I think that family was a good beginning of me leaving.
A good beginning of you leaving.
Yeah.
The thing that peed me off was...
They just marched in.
Yeah, the thing that really peed me off was the lack of control over the children, and how naughty they were, and how that's allowed.
Mm.
Like, it's just normal for your kids to be little shites. And when I
And they were a bad influence on our children.
Bad
as well.
influence, yeah. They used to do bad, malicious things.
Yeah.
It always seems to be the elders' kids always do malicious things. It's like, yeah, but they're kids. When I had that elder say to me, well, they're just kids, that's what kids do, you know, they kick and punch. And I was like, nah, my Jack wouldn't do that. He just ain't got it in him because he's been taught that it's wrong. He just wouldn't do it. But they do it, wouldn't they, these other kids? They were horrible kids. Witness kids are horrible.
One of the worst things was when the paedophile says to the elders, I don't know what I'm supposed to do when the kids are coming to me, when I've been told to stay away from them.
Yes, that was it.
Because the couple where the dad is an elder is just letting their kids run around the Kingdom Hall, and the kid is like smashing into the paedophile's legs. And to be fair on the paedophile, well, he's got a kid running to him. He doesn't need to do anything.
No.
It's disgusting. You know, and because he's an elder, it's like we had all these restrictions on our children and kept them away from the paedophile and kept them over there, and even just decency, you know, like spend time talking to the older ones, you know, don't just want to, I don't know.
Just think about how we had, in my last video I talked about two types of people who leave the truth. There's nice sort of people who leave the truth and they still will talk to people about God and all this lot. And then you got the ones who just come out and they just don't want to know, and they're like, oh, and they, I don't know, they do generally, I hate to say it, but they tend to generally to be more atheist rather than open-minded to anything. And I don't care what anyone thinks, but it just by looking on different Facebook groups that I'm in, my favourite group on Facebook, the actual one is really good. People open up more on it and less people criticise them and they're more understanding. And then you go on other ones that are more open and it's just all about, there's a lot of things about sex and crude stuff, and it's just like, you know, if you're going through, if you're leaving that, you don't want to be talking about that sort of stuff.
No.
And it's so like, it's too attacky, and it's just it's just out of spite and that. But yeah, I don't know why I mentioned that. There's two different types of people. But anyway, so yes, that was it. Then there was this family that we were friends with in another congregation, and they agreed they were having problems in their congregation, and they had problems in ours as well, didn't they?
They had problems
everywhere, but they seemed nice.
They had problems with the same family as we did, yeah.
We left and they cut us off, and it's just shocking because you'd think they wouldn't do it, but they just did it. And not only did they cut us off, they were like nasty all of a sudden. It's funny how people show the true colours, isn't it? It's funny, like when I was doing that, like how you sit on a chocolate bar and it goes all melty, and then you've got a chocolate bar that's cold.
It was very, very strange with this family.
I don't know why I'm talking about chocolate. I've got two chocolate bars. One's been sat on and one hasn't. So why not?
You're just such a plonker.
I know, I'm a plonker.
This family though, they came into our congregation. They just came to visit one Sunday.
Yeah.
And the mum was just pale as anything, looked an absolute nervous wreck, was shaky. I tried to give her a hug and she just froze. The little girl, quite happy, chirpy, wanting to talk to people, and she just sort of said, I can't stay for the whole meeting, I've got anxiety, I've got my dog in the car, I'm staying with my mother-in-law and it's not going well. just real problems. Then they came again, and they said, we're trying to find somewhere to live. We've been messed over with the house we were selling. Mother-in-law's turned on them, family have turned on them, all this stuff. We were in the same position at the time. We were losing our house, so we felt really sorry for them. We then got a house and invited them over to our house, and it was just, the husband wasn't in the truth, she was, and I got hours of how awful life is in the truth. Her dad was an absolute monster. Thinks he probably had kids by another woman that the family was studying with. He was trying to literally kill his own wife. And she's telling me all this stuff, and I'm thinking, I actually can't handle this. This is real big stuff. Either she's got serious issues, or people in the truth are just mental. I can't understand it. Anyway, we looked after them for a little while. They got a home in a nearby town. We didn't see them for ages, mainly because I couldn't cope with it all. Then we bumped into them in a garden centre, and they said, we've been really wanting to see you. We've been saving some food in our freezer because we wanted to have you all over. So we went back to theirs, had some time with them. Then it became a regular thing. They were homeschooling, we were homeschooling. They came over about once a week. And she just opened up more and more about the problems that she had had, how she had left her old congregation because they wanted to have wild parties and things like that, get drunk, and she wasn't into it, and that she always felt that people looked down on her, which is what we started to feel, especially by the new family that had moved into our congregation. And as time went on, I would start to dread seeing her sometimes, because it was problem after problem after problem, and it was all within the truth. So
Maggot Man, Anthony Morris III, maggot with his beer, booze. Does it look a bit like him, Anthony Morris? I'm going to rub this out because I don't want that in my
I
sketchbook.
thought it looked a little bit like somebody else, but I won't say who it is on camera.
Go on then, touch up.
Yeah. So
come forwards. I've coaxed Marie. You're going to go to bed, weren't you?
Yes, it's been a stressful day.
I've been coaxed into a video.
Anyway, I started to open up to this sister and say, actually, it's the same here. You know, I've got this family here. They've moved in. The dad's an elder. The mum is very into fashion, looking her best, having the best of everything, and looking down her nose at me for not wanting to be like that, for actually wanting to be humble. Oh, you couldn't afford this. I've got this. You couldn't afford that. If she saw something in my kitchen, it was, how did you afford that? You know, like crockery. Oh, we got given it. I just felt pulled to bits by her constantly. Now, in the meantime, we had elderly ones round, and I was drained. My fibromyalgia was getting bad. I didn't get picked for the assembly to give little items at the assembly. This family did. And they were just running riot. So I come to the conclusion that it was to do with material things. They had the designer bags, the designer this, the designer that, and they were favoured on in the congregation. We lost our big house and went into a council house, and we were certainly looked down on. Anyway, I'm getting my two families muddled up now. So this family that I'm saying is materially and looking down on me, they move into the congregation where this other sister moves into, this one who's had lots of problems. She then starts to tell us how the family are bullying her and look down on her, and how her daughter doesn't get to comment at meetings because their sons are like standing on the chair asking for comments, and this family are all favoured. So then, of course, lockdown came, and we start having conversations, and she's just worn out. She's worn out from her own congregation, the way people are treating her. Her dad has died. Her mum is in a home. She sort of lost her mind, and it's all this stuff has all come from like neglect from elders. She said the elders just wouldn't accept what was happening with my dad. And her mum was suffering because of it. So it's real serious stuff going on with them. So anyway, she knew what was going on with us. She knew about the man in the congregation, having conversations about it. And I said, look, we're gonna leave the truth. We can't do it. We can't go on Zoom with the children. We're being looked down on for not going on Zoom. We're weak people because we're not on it. And she says, I'll support you. We'll support you no matter what. We're your friends. You've helped us. We'll help you. So she asked to go for a walk with us when we could sort of socially distance meet up. And I just thought, I don't know if I'm ready for that. And I said, I would like to go for a walk with you, but I must tell you, we're not going back. The reason why we're not going back is because this business with paedophiles is serious. Not only with paedophiles, but we now know serious cases of people we know whose husbands are wife beaters. It's not right, and the families have shunned their children who have been beaten up by their elder husbands, and it's not right. So she texts back saying, I can't disagree with you there because of the way that my dad treated my mum. I can't argue with you there. It seems you've made up your mind, so I'll miss you. And I said, I'll miss you too. And then I went on to like homeschool groups that we were on and Facebook and things like that, and she's completely deleted me from all of them. And so is her husband, who's not a witness, and who, for somebody who's not a witness, has seen all the bad that's gone on within the witnesses.
Although
and
he did look at my status on WhatsApp today.
He looked at your WhatsApp status today.
Yeah, they did.
Although the thing with that is we keep putting little WhatsApp statuses up just to try and show the witnesses in our phone that we've not just left to be horrible, we've left to protect our children, and we've also left because we've seen all the lies that they're teaching. You know, I think I said in the last video, but I'll say again, we've not been out the truth very long, and you hear the word apostate, and it's meant to be something really bad. In fact, because my half sister was telling me that it's wrong to not celebrate birthdays, it's wrong to do this, she left the truth at 15, and I had a overseer's wife come and see me, and I said, look, she's doing these things, and she said she's an apostate. An apostate is like gangrene. You stay well away from anyone who is an apostate. So we've always done that.
But we never really knew it.
We never.
Although your sister, who wasn't baptised, she's not very nice anyway. We had problems with her before in the truth, weren't we?
Yes, but we won't go into that one.
In the organisation.
Yeah. So apostates are big, bad, scary people. So if anyone gets hint that you're an apostate, it'd be really hard to get through to any witness. And you joined all these you joined all these ex-JW groups way before me, didn't you?
Yeah.
And Brian was saying to me, look, you just need to find somebody to talk to. Oh, don't he looks too much like a brother? Oh no, he's not a brother, look, 'cause he's got a moustache. So it depends.
No, it depends what congregation.
It depends what congregation you're in, whether he's going to get disfellowshipped or have a shave.
Although he's wearing corduroys, so.
What was I saying? Yeah. Brian was saying you just need to talk to somebody. You know, you need to get on one of these groups, and I didn't want to, but. I don't know. I wasn't on Facebook. I went on some website, and I came across a lady that was a sister, and she emailed me and got me on a group. And at first, I didn't like some of the comments because.
Was another group? You was on the wrong group, weren't you?
Not on a wrong group, no. It is actually a very nice group. It's just some of the comments from some people just seem too much like I wasn't ready for it. And like you say, they're people that you think, why did you get disfellowshipped? Because there's people who are Jehovah's Witnesses, and they're not very nice.
No, obviously, yeah.
But there's ones that are like,
Think they're
how should I say?
nice. They act nice, but they're still brainwashed.
Yeah, but there's ones that are like living a double life, so they'll be out clubbing at the weekends and getting drunk and probably sleeping around and doing whatever they want, and then they'll go to the meeting. They'll go to the meeting because mum's a pioneer, dad's an elder, and then no one sees anything wrong with them, and it's just keep your mouth shut because that's them. So when they finally get disfellowshipped, you think, well, you didn't really have your heart in it anyway. And they're the ones that sort of, I don't know, I weren't ready to handle them, that's all I'll say. But then you've got ones who have physically, mentally been abused or just downtrodden. You know, they've come into it. They want the hope of seeing their dead loved ones again. They want paradise. They want this lovely family that feels genuine. And you think, you know, people on the outside think, oh, come on, it's obvious, it's fake. But it's not. These people, like, especially for us, they come into our home, they're cooking with me, they're cleaning with me, they're called your aunties and uncles. They've really got their hearts in it, and they just drop you, just like that. Yeah, I can't even remember what subject we were on, but it's so upsetting. Like today was Chloe's birthday.
First birthday we've done in 10 years.
First birthday in 10 years. She didn't want to do it at first, but then she got really excited. She couldn't sleep last night, and we got her this like big birthday badge thing, and I took her into town, but the whole time I was thinking, what will I do if we bump into a witness? She's proud as anything with this badge. I want everyone to see my badge, but like I say, I think we saw her favourite auntie. I just took her down a different aisle because you've seen some of the witnesses out and about, haven't you? But I haven't seen any of them yet, and I don't know I'm going to be.
I haven't I've seen them and one sort of avoided me, and I sort of avoided him because I knew he felt, because he's just a brainwashed bloke, and he's kind enough, and I didn't want to have any confrontation with him or anything. So I sort of avoided him anyway. But there's some who, yeah, I'd like to talk to, tell them what I think. Scumbags.
They are scumbags. They are absolute scumbags.
It's horrible because they think they're nice. They're brainwashed. They think
they're nice,
but then they do these damn horrible things.
Yeah, they think they're self-righteous.
Our family did bugger all
They don't
wrong.
think they think they're righteous, but they're just self-righteous, and they are so much.
Smarmy as well.
We did the book.
Smug.
All about Jesus. Jesus, what was it? The Way, the Truth, something or other. Anyway, the updated version recently, and there was so much in there about the Pharisees, and it was just like, this is you lot. This is you lot. I mean, I'd have sisters come in the house and go, I don't think your kid should be watching that Disney film. Oh no, I don't let mine watch it. It's like, yeah, could you get your kid from my child's bunk bed that's stuck up there and dribbling all over it, you know? And they'd run in the garden, they'd get mud all over their feet, and they're running it all in the house, and the mum's going, I'd never let them do it in my house, don't let them do it in mine. But I never had a voice, did I? I just let these people walk all over me.
Well, I did keep saying, stop inviting them around. It done my head in.
Half the time I didn't invite them round. They'd just turn up at the door.
They're always round.
And
it was always take. And when we had that picnic at the park, we went down the picnic. Went down the park. We had a picnic. We took our food, and we got our food out, and some of the children, they'd had the dinner and they weren't sent with anything. So we felt sorry for them. It was like, well, we can't get our food out while they're here hungry.
We only had enough
just for us. We hardly had anything, did we? And then
because
the family turned up.
To do it all.
And then someone turned up. They got their food out. They had like What's that ham? Fancy ham.
Oh, they had fancy everything. But
Things with P.
they're boys, do you
Some
remember?
sort of fancy ham. They had some proper posh foods. Like I was like
wine and just,
yeah, and I couldn't believe what they had.
And they were like,
and we were
look
all
what
like
we've got,
scabbing
look what we've got.
what we've got.
But
It just wasn't fair.
But their children,
They didn't share anything.
Before the mum got there, the little boy was like, I'm hungry. So I gave him my food, what I had for me. And I said, Marie, that's our lunch. And I said, oh, it's okay. Then his little brother comes along and says, me, I want some. Now he's like 2. But his dad, the elder, is just stood there watching. So I give him a little bit. He's got this massive picnic bag there. And then the other little girl from the other family comes over. She goes, it's not fair. I haven't had anything out of that bag yet. And it was like, and then her mum goes, don't worry, we've got our bread crusts in this bag. And I'm thinking, these people have all got money. They've got enough money to bring a lunch for their children.
They knew it was a picnic.
And I stressed several times in this homeschool group, make sure you bring your food. You've got the 3 boys where the mums just text me at the last minute saying, don't worry, they've already eaten. Well, these boys always claim they're hungry, and they're not. But it just makes you feel
It drives
bad,
you mad when people are like,
I've gone without.
When they say, oh, we haven't got much money. We're being careful with money, and then you see, and then you're like round there, and they're getting a delivery from a meat man, and you've got this big tray of meat, and I'm thinking, whoa, you got steaks and all these sausages from the butchers and stuff, and there we are on flipping, just having like cheap Tesco sausages. We ain't got enough for steaks and stuff like that.
Because we thought that what was more important.
But we were always more giving than them.
Yeah.
And shared more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and more thankful as well.
It just reminds me of that couple. The couple that came in the car not long before we left, and they phoned us up and said, is it okay if we pop round because we've got something for you? And they had, what was it? A tube of like sweets. I don't know, a few little chocolatey things for the kids. I think it was like Haribo or something.
Yeah.
And they
got
said,
a minute and a half for us out.
Okay, they said, we thought you're always giving, so we'd bring something round for you. This is for the kids. We've been on holiday, and I was like, oh, thank you very much. Now we were all this couple get poorly quite a lot, so quite often when we'd go shopping, we'd drop them off fruit, we'd buy them presents, and you know, we did spend quite a lot of money on them, and we were happy to do it. We were always pleased that we'd given them. It made us feel good. But when they gave us these sweets, it was like they text saying what they'd got us, then they come here,